Well, we finally made it. This is the video, the absolute video. This is a video for my ex. It's for my ex, it's for any exes, it's for anybody that has been in a situation like this. I've figured out what happened, what occurred. Let me explain. I'm gonna cover love. I'm gonna cover narcissism, trauma. I'm gonna cover deep respect, intelligence, and I'm gonna cover mental health and why mental health isn't as complicated as you think. And I'm gonna cover courage. But most of all, this is a message to my ex. I will reveal all, or as much as you need to know. So over the past couple of months, I've decided to tactfully stop social media. Stop social media because I experienced such heartbreak and such immediate disconnect, and my ex-partner went on to use and disconnect. Point is, over sending her emails, if you've been following along the journey, and she threatened me with a restraining order where I was just saying, I love you, here's what I remember about it, you know, here's the things. She wrote me a restraining order, said I'll get a restraining order after 4 emails of saying, hey, I really love you, don't worry, we all care about you, you can get through this, because she's trying to get better. And 2 days ago, I sent her a message saying, hey, sorry, I have a lot of stuff going on. I didn't read the room, I got it. You don't want any help, any support. You don't want to hear from me. Take care of yourself. I love you. I was actually telling her that I wrote the emails and it was sort of written poetically because it was a part of the book that I was writing for her and for the larger world. I've been off social media and this caused a break for her. She went onto social media and crying, then she started writing poetry. She then goes, I'm gonna write a poetry book, and starts writing a poetry book similar to mine about our relationship. And that was the final piece where I really got everything that it was. Here is what occurred in our relationship. We started off the relationship, I was in not my best shape. I had just recovered from really traumatic events in my family, and it was like very, very painful, and I was in my worst shape, and I was getting healthy. I was doing yoga every day. It was about 3 months in, and I had recovered from a past relationship, which was almost 2 years ago, and I was already speaking to women, so I was available, but not really, but I was speaking to women. They were supporting me, so on and so forth. And then I reached out to her. She had read my book once, and I said, hey, how you going? How is it going? Because she wrote me a really message at the time, maybe a year ago, that really resonated with me, that was like, hey, I've been this fat kid, etc., and this book really changed my life, and I'm now, you know, even earning money off my body. And I really connected with that. I was like, man, that's like, I get you in the field. So I said, how you going? And we started chatting, and a lot of the things really aligned like never before. I kept questioning things and it aligned. I kept questioning things and it aligned. And it was the intellect and the conversation that really even entered the equation for me. Then we found out that we're similar sexually. We're similar, lots of similarities, right? And this is where it got a bit interesting. So later on, about a year into the relationship, she admitted, she didn't realize, but she was exaggerating the truth, and most of the things that we had similarities in were not as similar as it may seem. So I was a children's performer, or I was a performer for children. I was a magician, right? Then I became like an adult performer, illusionist, but she also performed for kids. She had similar bullying experience. I had similar bullying experiences. We connected like on a deep core, like, hey, I wanna belong in the world, but many things didn't align. Our age didn't align. She was 19, I was 31 or 32. She was from the UK. I was from Australia. I was Russian, Ukrainian, Jewish, which breeds a bit of hardness, you know. And she was British, which breeds a bit of like, let's just drink and complain a little bit, you know. And that's not to say that everyone's like that, but if we're talking as a generalizations exist for reasons. Generalizations are generalizations. Point is, in the cracks of our relationship, what happened was the similarities got me. I was like, wow, this is amazing. And she's always wanted to come to Australia, and it felt a bit symbiotic. So she traveled here. We spent 2 weeks together. It was pretty beautiful. However, cracks showed up. But it was so similar and so beautiful that I wanted to continue. Behind the scenes, we later found out that she was very insecure and hoped to match my expectations, which I didn't have any. I was already really liked her, really, really liked her. In fact, I got jealous for the first time in my life because I was supporting her. She was going to go sleep with somebody while we were still talking. I was like, yes, go do it. It's going to be awesome. And then all night I stayed awake and I was like, what is this feeling? I was jealous for the first time. I spoke to her the next day and I said, I'm jealous. I'm sorry. I hoped that you wouldn't, but did you? And she's like, no, I couldn't go through with it. And it was like, oh my God, cute. Right. Like I don't know, never had that before. So the similarities showed up and that was nice, but the cracks were showing up as well. And she had tried to get really skinny, and she would apparently behind the scenes stalk my ex's Instagram and consistently try and match up and make sure that she looks like that, not worse, right? So she came to the relationship with lots of insecurities, which is understandable. At the time I was large on social media and I helped her, but like understandable. Age, insecurities, understandable, no worries. For me though, because she tried to be so similar and so perfect, and I saw that there's cracks, and I know that there's an age gap, I immediately got sort of into a place where I think I was fearful of losing this person. I've never found a person so similar in my entire life, ever. In my entire life, ever. At a core level. Not to give so many details, when she did come back and she moved in, we had, you know, a big outdoor area in the jungle, and would you know, walk around naked, etc. And we had it was a yogic spiritual experience where without even touching each other, both climaxed like spirit to spirit. And I'm telling you this because I want you to sort of imagine the depth of connection. And there is real connection. And then there's all this other stuff which was called validate me, similar to what I was saying yesterday. And what she wasn't able to do when we went to a therapist together and we recorded a call was the therapist asked me to say, what do I feel? And I had been saying something and I started crying. And then she asked my partner and she goes, what did that make you feel? And my partner honestly answered, she goes, nothing. So my partner, that therapist said she disassociates majority of the time. I don't believe it's disassociation. I mean, it might be disassociation, but my partner was not able to experience my feelings because she was stuck in survival. So there was insecurity, validate me, and her core caregiver, mother, father, the relationship was really tough. Really tough. She would never feel seen or heard by them because the mother was also stuck in survival and surviving for themselves. Not a brilliant mother, but you know, it is what it is. And although I tried to support her with having the conversations with mum, I was very worried that I would lose her, so I didn't want to tell her what to do. And for me, my ex-partners, one of my ex-partners had a nickname for me that Andrew is 99% right. And the one is 1% time that I'm wrong. Another one had always trust in Andrew. I knew the answer. She needed to have a conversation with her mother and say, hey, you haven't received me, and there's all these things that have happened that I really want you to get, that it was really painful for me, and we need to work through it so I can rebuild that connection with my mother. And then that will give her a sense of core stability and peace. So therefore, she can start experiencing other people's feelings because her feelings aren't met. Now, what happens when that happens and you're so stuck in your head, and instead you go out and you try and validate yourself all the time and avoid the conversation? What I've figured out is she has narcissistic personality disorder. Now, I want to be very, very clear. There's a lot in the space when people hear that. Here's what narcissism is not. Narcissism is not confidence. Narcissism is classified by literally not being able to feel other people's feelings. But where people get confused, and where I got confused with my partner as well, is my partner was just a very deep feeler. And I finally found the missing piece. A true narcissist will feel intensely for themselves because they are still hurting. They are just not able to feel for anybody else. And that means that we can't actually have a relationship if you're not able to feel for anybody else, because you're stuck on working on the relationship with yourself. And I want to tell you this because no amount of new piercings, no amount of new boys, no amount of social media validation, and the validation is a lot. So a narcissistic personality disorder, they try and spread to make sure they've got validation everywhere. So she'll post on Facebook, on Instagram, on another Instagram account, on another one, on a TikTok here, to try and get validation. And what she's trying to do is support not addressing the fact that there's a real dark hurt there that really needs to be addressed. Now instead, she now sees me as the narcissist. She sees me as the narcissist. So she receives that I go, I love you, I'm feeling these feelings. And she's like, don't love me, let me die. Narcissistic personality disorder, some people say, oh, you can't cure it, you can't, it's for life. That's not correct. That's not correct. In fact, mental health conditions didn't exist. We put labels on mental health conditions because we said, here's a bunch of character traits. We put them together and we're going to label it this, and this really fits for a lot of people. She doesn't have a lot of the other stuff. She does care for other people in her way, in whichever way she gives, and she does that through the way that she was cared for by her family as well. So it's not even, I'm just changing chairs here. It's not, don't know why. It's not that she doesn't have it in her or nobody has it in her. Narcissists, people go, oh, they're self-centered. It's actually really depressing. They are focusing on self because they are in so much pain. And they're like, oh, I just need to do me, and they can't sit with that pain and address it. That's why addiction has come in. That's why she ran away. For me, I was loving her. And what she doesn't realize is when she entered the relationship, she's like, I want it. I want the big leagues. So I would support her in the big leagues. I'd say, babes, like, you have to have a look at your last week, completely disorganized. We need to start writing a list. This is how I do it. I write a list. Here's what I do in the morning. Here's what I do. And here's what I must get done for the day. And that's the most productive. But when you're insecure and in survival, all you're not hearing love and care because you're missing the feeling, right? You're not experiencing the feeling. You're hearing the words. And those words are, I'm bad, I'm wrong, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough the way I am. And what a lot of mental health professionals will go and they'll be like, you just have to go, you are good enough, and brainwash yourself, I am good enough. Get friends that tell you like, oh, you are good enough, you are. No, you need to go have the conversation with the person that you're desperately, there's stuff there. So she has traits of that. Now, as that happens, and she builds on that, and she tries to build the perfect woman for me, she hears everything that I like and tries to one-up it. I start writing her a book, she writes a book. She knows I'm going into singing, we broke up, she started doing blow, and she's like, I'm gonna make a song, and she releases a song. Do you like me now? Do you like me now? Babe, I love you. Not based on any of your results or anything that you do. I love doing me for me, whatever I'm doing. I don't want you to be a copy of me. She's brilliant. She looks at art. She introduced me to art. She's an amazing drawer. She introduced me to the emotion of painting. So beautiful. I never had that in my life ever. Brings like a tear to my eye. But instead, she would spend all her time trying to build what she thought I would like, because she can't comprehend that I already love her the way she is. If you're watching this, and I hope you are, I love you the way you are, as is. But here's what doesn't work for me currently. You need more courage to address what you're not addressing. You can't sit still. It's not ADHD, it's not autism. You're the smartest girl I've ever met in my life. You're the most poised girl you don't show up as poised, but I see the poise within you. It's there, it's available. You're running away from yourself. What you would need to do is you need to stop all validation. You need to cut the cord. You're not allowed to post. You can't even take a photo of yourself and validate yourself. You have to remove all validation and lie there in stillness, maybe for a week, maybe for 2, and experience what it's like for you to be you without getting validated by anybody else. And then have the courage to address the conversations. If you have the conversation, no matter how long it takes, and stay in it, stay in it, stay in it, stay in the conversation until you're finally received. You used to scream at me, you used to cry at me, and then you would stop and you'd be like, I'm sorry, I'm like, it feels like I'm screaming at my mum. And I know, like, you're screaming at me because the trauma is like yes, you do. As she left, she was like, maybe I need to do that to my family. That's what I need to be open. Yes. You need to do that, and you can't run away from it. You need to stay there until your heart literally can breathe. As this is all happening, I'm beginning to get worried that I'm going to lose you because you're so special, but there's like this muckness. So I become more anxiously attached, meaning I'm so scared to do the wrong thing. And it's beyond my pay grade because I don't understand what's happening. You're crying every second day, things are happening, but then you're like, swing of emotions. Are you confident like me, or are you not confident? Or are you depressed? I just got so mucky and I just got frozen in fear. So I dropped all my boundaries, everything that was important to me. I dropped my business, my health, anything, and I became solely about her. That's a lesson that I'm learning now. I saw everything, but I didn't believe in myself at the time because I was worried that I would lose her. What I've now come to terms with is that I can't lose myself. So even though this person may be perfect, I can't lose myself. And moving forward, I would never allow myself to lose myself. If I'm losing myself, then no matter how amazing you are, we need to address it, or we can't be in the same vibration. That's all there is. She's a beautiful soul. I love her to bits. And right now, obviously, she's probably not addressed the trauma yet. For her to hear that I love her and she's unbelievable only feeds into that validation. So I know the biggest impact for her would be saying, I don't love you. and we'll never be together, and you're never going to know me, and you were the worst thing that ever happened to me in my life. And that will do better for you because it'll give you pain. You might confront it, or you might again run away from it. But hand on heart, I love you dearly. Like, genuinely, from the bottom of my heart. The fuck thing is because I got anxiously attached, and my whole life has been designed to try and be the best. I really have been struggling with relationships for the last 8-9 years, so I really gave it my all, and I tried to be the absolute best. So she is going to be stuck with as well that I tried to be the best, and no one else is going to match up to that care. And you'll have to face that pain at some point. At the moment, she's running around, she's getting piercings, she's talking to guys, she's becoming a lesbian, she's doing more narcotics, she's stopping narcotics, she's just running away from just accepting the pain of what it is. Here's what I wish for you. I wish for you to address it, to have the courage. The only thing that was missing between you and I for me, the only thing that was missing between you and I for me was courage. Courage would allow you to deal with the tough stuff. Courage would have allowed you to stay in the relationship and, hey, let's work on it. I begged, I pleaded. I was like, we've just moved in again together. Why not spend a month, like we'll do every day a check-in, like what did you like? What can I do better? What can you do better? It just needed courage. What's missing for you as an identity for me is courage. And you see my courageousness and my as narcissistic. I've earned this courage with my stripes, with my everything. And look, I know you like to compete. So maybe I'll do this in the hopes that you'll compete, in the hopes that this will drive you. But address your stuff. I bet you can't do it in 3 months. Know that it can be done in a weekend. It can. It can be done in a weekend, and then it'll take 2 or 3 months now that you've got a whole new opening of life to really rediscover who you are now as a centered, calm human. But I bet you can't do it. And I say that a bit facetiously, a bit teasy, because I know you personally will, you know, you're gonna be like, yeah, I'll show him. And yeah, you should show me. Have the courage to take on your life. Have the courage to take on your life. No matter if you have millions of dollars, no matter if you're worldwide famous, no matter if you've written 5,000 books, no matter if you copy everything that I do for the next decade and do it 100 times better, that will never have us be anywhere close to together or even knowing each other. What will have that happen is the courage for you to take on your life, for the stuff that really matters. Everything else doesn't matter. Everything else comes, it goes. You'll have that. Then have passion, purpose. You hate what you do. You disassociate from that as well. You cry about it. Don't do what you do. It makes you feel yuck. But you're not sure what you feel. So I also understand that. You're meant for so much more. And you've drawn the line. I can't save you. I got it. But you can save yourself. And for anybody else watching, narcissistic personality disorder this is the first time that I've encountered it, but I've been called it before, so I have gone through 2 to 3 therapists saying, hey, I think I have this. I've gone through many books, and really, it wasn't narcissistic. For me, I was so hurt that I was trying to belong. I can feel other people's feelings really well. Really, really well. Because I have been hurt. So I'm feeling really well. And I didn't have such major issues, I guess, in my family. I had other issues, which was like, you're not good enough. So I tried to be good enough. It's not narcissistical. I'm confident in the person that I am. I'm confident in the person that I'm not. And all of that has been earned. You are smarter than I. I do think your brain has a higher capability than I. You can do this. You can do this fast. You can do this. You can do this. And with that, I've decided that all I'm going to give is love now, but this chapter needs to end. I need to move forward. So come catch me. I'm unblocking you on every social media platform. I have nothing to hide. I'm going to feel my feelings as they are fully. Many people go, no, block it, don't look at it, don't this, don't this. I love you. I love you. And I'm not going to look at you. And I love you, and maybe I will look at you. I don't know. But I love you deeply. Have the courage to take on your life. Really have the courage to take on your life. We've had many, many chats together where she knew, and we've been at this place, that she understands it. She would even bring it up herself. But then she runs away from the answer and goes, no, the answer's somewhere else. The problem is if you don't address this early, this is now going to be a permanent, and then it'll take years and years and years and years to ever climb out of it, if you climb out of it, if you haven't done permanent brain damage, which, based on some of your usage of what you do to your brain with narcotics, you're already causing pretty permanent damage, which can take already years to recover from, if not ever. Have the courage to take on your life. And for you, my friend, for watching, I hope this inspires you to take on your life. Mental health, anxiety, depression, life, loss, love, death. Things happen. Have the courage to take on your life. You know the thing you need to address. You know the thing you need to address. Have the courage to address it. I've been addressing my stuff. You address your stuff. And then we'll all cuddle, and we'll all just dance our way to whatever the top of your own existence that you want to design for yourself. I love you. Nama fucking stay, bitch.